Hello YouTube, this is Deadmar1079 coming back at you with another World of Warships video, and today we'll be looking at the premium battleship Texas. I've been actually wanting this for a while, and I decided to finally get her. And she is an amazing ship. And for most of the people that say it's just the New York battleship, just was a different name and all that. That on the surface, yes, but she has more anti-aircraft guns. I believe she was the first ship to have anti-aircraft guns put on her. And her middle turret, I believe, can go out a little bit, can be aimed a little bit further than the New York can. And as the little package that I bought her from A Living Legend suggests, she is a living legend. She is the one and only dreadnought era battleship left in the world still. She's the only one of her kind of that era. The Japanese have the Mikasa of the pre-dreadnought era. We have the dreadnought era battleship, the Texas herself. And pretty much we have fast battleships and all that, like the Iowa. For me, she is a gorgeous ship. She actually, out of every last battleship left in the United States Navy, she was the only one that was saved. When the state of Texas actually bought her for $50,000 when they asked to sell the state's names of their ships. But Texas was the only one that got the most support and actually was survived the nuclear bomb testing in the Pacific called Bikini Atoll. And let me tell you more as we use her. And I gave her the upgrade for anti-aircraft gun fire, so she has a greater range. And we'll always do first the AI, then we'll do standard battles and everything else. But as I was saying, she survived a really grim fate of being a test subject for above and underwater nuclear testing. Her sister ship and the namesake of the line, the New York, did not survive that fate, along with a few others. But this battleship is good enough, was saved by the people of Texas at that time who just wanted the battleship and loved their state named ship. And also that good luck, everyone. She is the only one, the only surviving, I guess, veteran of both great wars that's served in both. I know that there's still surviving World War II veterans, but any survivors of the First World War, she is the last. She is also the only one of the few battleships left in the world that survive both theaters of war. She served in the Atlantic on D-Day, to where you'll hear this again because I link a video description down below to tell you pretty much everything about the battleship. And please comment down below and tell me how you liked that little video. She survived D-Day, shelling with the German artillery, and she also survived that of the Pacific War for being an older battleship, pretty much one of the oldest battleships out there besides that of the New York herself. She was at, I believe, Okinawa. I don't know if she's at Iwo Jima. but she made it both theaters of war and everything else, and she survived. And she was only hit ever once. No significant damage from that one shot ever when she was dueling with a German artillery, a German coastal defense battery, and it never went off the shell. They actually have that shell at the Battleship Texas Museum as a mascot.
Our team has taken the lead.
To me, if you like World of Warships, you like battleships, and you like a lot of battleship history, I recommend getting the Texas. She is a ship that is worth it. If you don't have any premium 4 battleships, I recommend highly get the Texas. Okay, let's see. She has 10 14-inch guns and 5 double turrets. So she can shell out with a bunch of ships, especially if you get maybe a higher tier 5 American battleship or something. She can shell out with them since it was all standard 14 inches for a standard type battleship after her. Which I believe was the New Mexico. So she can shell out with them. She can shell out with any Congo battleship or battle cruiser. She can shell out with any British battleship. Don't think the British at all had any 16-inch guns. I think they had planned, but they never really brought them to fruition. I think they're all 14-inch, 15-inch maybe. I know the Germans had that same thing. 14 inches, maybe 15. I know they had 15-inch ones. Was that of Bismarck? But to me, I like playing with this. In this, if you have a friend that doesn't have the Battleship Texas, but he has the Battleship New York, you both could play as them, and you can both have the sister ships. You could actually have all battleships of that line together as one. Because every other line of the ship is either they had 2 or they had 3, which the Colorado has 3. Which, like right now, you can have Battleships New York, the namesake of the line, and you can have Texas together. And for me, that to me would be neat. And you in New York can go off and maybe go hunt down battleships together, or even possibly hunt down the aircraft carrier, because as you can see, Texas has an ample abundance of it everywhere. She may be an old ship, friend. She's somewhere in, like She is somewhere in her hundreds. How old she is. And of course anything that old, especially even a metal warship, but really for her sake, she's not in the best condition. She needs a lot of repair working, and she needs to be moved. Because I heard at one point with the Battleship Texas, the hull of her was so thin, if you dropped a screwdriver down a hole that went all straight down to the bottom of the ship, it would go right through her. That's how bad she was off. Which I do hope, when they move her, or they get her stable enough to put her into dry dock, and they completely get her to close as 100% to where they're able to permanently move her again and keep her there and keep her in better shape, that they never have that major problem ever really again. The only ships that'll probably never have that problem, at least the hull of the ship that problem, are the newer ones like the North Dakotas, the South Dakota, or no, North Carolina class, the South Dakota class, and the Iowa class are the only ones that will never have that problem with the hull. But since she did get the major overhaul in World War II, she didn't have the technologies put in her, I believe, to where, as the other ones do, where it just sends electrical pulses to the hull. Enough of electrical pulse through the hull of the ship to get her to not, for the rust, for all the salt to get off the hull of the ship. But, yeah, I say this, if you're a fan of the battleships and all that, and you're an old battleship lover, go check out the Texas. She is the oldest, she is the last surviving of the dreadnought era. If I ever get a chance to, I would. I'd go see her and all the other ones. Because, let's see, we have the Texas herself, so that's one. We have the 4 Iowa classes. We have the North Carolina battleship herself. We have the Massachusetts, that's a South Dakota class, and I believe that is it. So we have 7 battleships, and we are the only country with battleships left. Which we should have had 7 or 8, or we should have had 8, because they should have kept one of the USS Washington, which I believe was a North Carolina class battleship, because she is the only battleship in all of World War II to sink another battleship. And I believe that was a Congo class battleship that she sunk. The only other that was the only battleship engagement in the Pacific theater that another battleship took out another battleship. The rest of them were taken out by aircraft carriers or submarines. It's kind of like, I like battleships the most, but aircraft carriers I do like too. Like, if you look up the history of the battleship, not the battleship, the aircraft carrier Enterprise, she should have stayed. They never should have went for scrapping. Yes, she was an old carrier, outdated along by the newer carriers, but she was a legendary ship. She has the highest amount of battle stars in the US Navy to this day. More than the battleship New Jersey, which is in second place in that regard. And she was the last carrier for quite some time in the US Navy to hold off the Japanese, which, if they ever add her to this game and I can obtain her by researching her, which she is a legendary ship, so I think they should add her that way, I will happily get her. And soon to be reviewing, but still quite a little ways off, is the Battleship California that's shooting at me. That'll be the next ship that I review, and also a little note that I have more content for Dragon Ball Xenoverse, so maybe sometime tomorrow you might see a video of it out. So there might be more content for that little series of mine.
The ship is on fire! Problem solved, sir! The ship is on fire!
Hey, Moan. Yeah, as long as I can get near that other little ship, it'll activate my darn little life thing. The little airplane above. Well, that didn't work out. And as always, since this is the first time that she died, I always watch them sink. Darn, and I thought I was doing so good. Maybe I should. But I guess he got a critical or something. Darn. There goes the Texas. Didn't do her well. Still a good ship. As you saw in my first battle, I got over 3,000 XP. And I won that one, so I got a lot. She's now paid off that other thing. Oh, the premium bonus. Well, that's gonna do it all for now. I wanna thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that bell to notify you anytime that I post a video or go live. And please leave a comment down below and tell me how'd you like this video. And out of all the premium battleships that you can buy in this game or research, which one is your absolute favorite? I'd like to know. And also please leave a comment down below and tell me about what you thought of the video that I put in the description down below, telling you a lot more about the battleship Texas, and you actually get to see her. So, let me know. As always, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.